Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Heels Up. Today we are doing the, what's the date?
9/14.
The 9/14/2020 episode of Monday Night Raw.
That's right.
But I am the one that matters, Reggie Lincoln, with my beautiful co-host whose birthday is coming up in 10 days.
Thank you. Yeah.
Glad St. Valentine.
Yeah, and send your alcohol here.
Yeah, send your alcohol to this guy, and we'll put cash apps up or whatever. GoFundMe's, all that good junk. And then not too far behind is our producer, Kaden, who also has a birthday.
17 days.
Yep, 17 days.
And again, we're telling you guys this early so you can get those care packages full of alcohol and other sundry items towards us,
Yes.
Pack of edible panties maybe.
Edibles, something. I don't know. It is Texas here, so.
So yeah, you mind your P's and Q's on that one, sir.
Uh,
This is a God-fearing, sober house. I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
my birthday's in May, so I can't celebrate it right now.
No, you're too busy dodging hail in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we start off the night with Drew McIntyre coming out and cutting a promo, laying into Randy a little bit. He's going to have a match with Keith Lee later on. And he challenges Randy to an ambulance match since everyone keeps getting carted out in ambulances during this. So, hey, you know what? What did I say about the Manatee's Ball? This is only the natural conclusion. This is like the apex of their ball, their new ambulance ball.
Right?
So we're potentially going to have an ambulance match between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at Clash of Champions. However, lackey first class Adam Pearce comes out and says that they don't even know the extent of Randy's injuries and potentially he might not even make it to Clash of Champions, which, if there's a God in heaven, please hear me now.
Wow.
It's not that I don't like Randy Orton, man. It's just that he needs to go kick old people in the head and leave the championship to new guys. So if Keith Lee wins tonight, Adam says that he will get a chance to face Drew for the title at Clash of Champions, assuming Orton can't make it. So that's two kind of stipulations in the way. He has to win the match tonight and Orton has to be. So he's like trying to win a place as the understudy essentially for the match.
Yeah. Wow, they're pushing this guy to the moon. I love it.
2 weeks in, he's already in the title picture, which is
Yeah.
the perfect spot for him because he's too big to be ignored as anything else. It's the reason why you didn't really put Braun Strowman
And
in.
too talented.
It's two big giant guys that do things that no other guy should be able to do that size. And then obviously Keith is a little more agile than Braun is. I'm not trying to compare the two. Well, I am a little bit, but I'm simply saying when those guys, both of them, you can kind of compare in that they never sent Braun after an undercard title. You know what I mean? Braun was immediately put in the championship because you're not going to take someone who's that devastating and monstrous looking, just like Keith Lee, and have them fighting over the U.S. championship.
Or the 24/7 title or something like that.
Which, begs the question, what the fuck's Bobby Lashley doing? But there's that then.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of take that back. It's not, I hate to denigrate the undercards like that, the undercard titles, but like WWE's kind of degraded them themselves for over the years, by not making them like, again, the U.S. title hasn't felt like this big of a deal in a long time. That's MVP's doing.
Well, that's because MVP is one of the greatest U.S. champions of all time.
Mm-hmm. And he can sell anything to anyone. Like he makes me care, and that's what they want. So putting him on the mic more is definitely a good thing. We are getting more MVP, and I like to they had him on commentary later on in the evening. That was kind of nice to see him. They spread him out a little bit more to where it wasn't just.
But they started our commentary with Dolph tonight.
Yeah, Dolph was on commentary early on. We didn't have any Samoa Joe tonight. God knows where he's at. So what they're looking at that one. But and Dolph sounds so young though. It was tripping me out when I was listening to him. It sounded like the dude, the BMX racer from Rad was giving commentary.
So after Adam Pearce came out and said his piece, Keith Lee comes out with this look on his face like, oh, I know opportunity's coming to me. Him and Drew go face to face.
Well, he is limitless after all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but him and Drew go face to face and they shake hands, but it's a little intense.
He was a little tense.
You son of a bitch.
After that little segment, we go into our champion versus champion tag team match. The Street Profits, which are the Raw Tag Team Champions, versus Nakamura and Cesaro, who are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. First match of the night, man. That's kind of unexpected.
Yeah, they're doing the Raw in your face, which from what I could tell just meant that they were, quadrupling the number of people on their screen. So
Yeah.
it's about as in your face. I guess that's more faces. So I
Yeah.
guess I don't know. I guess there's
Yeah.
less likely. I guess if they're smaller, there's less likely a chance we'll notice something racist or terrible happening in the background. So, and they could sell more tickets. So it was only a matter of time, I suppose.
Yeah, of course.
But the match between Cesaro, Shinsuke, and the Street Profits was a pretty damn good match.
It
Man.
really was.
But again, I say that every week, anytime Cesaro gets in the ring, because Cesaro's amazing. The Street Profits are amazing. Ford is just so entertaining to watch. That Gumby body of his that does those just bizarrely athletic things. Like he does a backflip and his head gets over in 3 seconds and it takes his feet another 30 to get over. Like that's how long that man is. It's freaking weird. So, but they're just so much fun to watch. They're so engaging and I'm spilling booze everywhere. That's how excited I am about watching the Street Profits and Shinsuke and Cesaro beat each other down. And there were some pretty cool spots in this match, man.
There really was.
The pop-up European uppercut was one of my favorite. I mean, he caught Ford on that one.
I actually like to see a singles match between them two.
Ford and Cesaro?
Yes.
Well, yeah, they normally do that sort of thing before you lead up to a tag team match, or
Yeah.
if the tag team titles are on the line usually. So, but I don't know if they're going to blow this one off. This is a one night only sort of thing.
They still haven't announced anything for Clash of Champions between those two, so
Who knows?
We'll see. We'll
They-
find out.
neither set has contenders so far. So
Or we'll probably find that out last minute.
Well,
Yeah,
I
they got
still like
another-
the idea of consolidating the tag team titles. And so there's one tag team title for the men, one tag team titles for the women, and Vince doesn't have to worry about 2 sets of belts he hates.
Yep.
So,
But at the end of it all, after going back and forth and everything,
hold on, before you get to that, what about that freaking superplex? That middle of the rope, Cesaro, second rope, pulls forward up from the apron on the outside into a superplex. Like the man is so freakishly strong. And he was pulling forward up for like an hour because that giant body has to go. But anyway, when he gets him up for the superplex, as you were going to say, Dawkins gets the, he slapped him on the ass for that tag, didn't he?
Yeah.
yeah,
But
It
a
was
tag's a tag, man.
Yeah. Ford straight up in the air. Dawkins just, doop. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, if I'm Ford, I'm like, instead of tagging in, you could have just like punched him and stopped this, Oh, well, I guess we win.
Oh, well. It wasn't Ford doing the splash. It was Dawkins hitting the high splash, and he got pretty up for his size.
Yeah, so Cesaro hits the superplex on Ford, and while he's on the ground, Dawkins, of course, has tagged himself in, hits the splash. Not as high as Ford's, but not bad. 1, 2, 3, and your Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, pull out a victory against Cesaro and
Nakamura.
Nakamura. I keep wanting to say Sheamus because it's
We
just
missed the bar.
like Shinsuke, not Sheamus.
Yeah.
You think you ever do that when they're like hanging out together? He's like, "Hey, Shinsuke, what's up, buddy? Hey."
Or as Ford, we'll call him the Bart 2.0.
So we cut backstage and Angel's flirting with Lana, or at least he's trying to, but she's just going on about how Natty deserves the chance at the women's title and not Mickey James. So she's still going on with hating on Mickey James, but
Because Natty's the BOAT. Best of all time.
the boat. Good gosh. So stupid.
They tried so hard.
But anyway, Angel, listens to her BS and chats her up a little bit. He's like, "Oh, yes, you're so right." And then Zelina shows up and runs her off, and her and Andrade start chewing Angel out. And Angel's like, I'm done listening to y'all's BS. Why you blame me every time Andrade freaking loses? Hey, not my fault. And Andrade starts getting into it with him. Then Zelina's finally like, "I've had enough of you two," and storms off. And then they start throwing punches. So this was the blow off we've been expecting, I guess, or the blow up between the two of them. It wasn't really much. It was just a backstage segment. And honestly, it was those two imploding so Zelina could go do something else. Because we were going to see her later on the night, but we just see Neri hiding her hair of Angel and Andrade the rest of the evening.
Mhm.
That's because Selena Vega is actually pretty talented.
She's a
in the
very
ring.
talented wrestler. Yes.
And, I'm ready to see her in some more action.
Me too. They're going to have to do a little work with rehabbing her as just kind of the cowardly heel who can, like, she can do some spectacular moves, but like as soon as she gets a move done to her, she doesn't have much, there's not much hit points in that bar. You know what I'm saying? She put all of her points in offense and none in stamina or
HP.
no. Well, there's something else. Isn't there one of your base ones that dictates your hit points? Wasn't it stamina or something like
Constitution?
that? Constitution? I don't know. It's been a while since I rolled the dice.
That's
All
why
right.
we love you, man.
You have a plethora of information.
Many piñatas?
Oh, yes, many.
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas?
A what?
A plethora.
So after all of that, we go into our next match, which is Cedric Alexander versus Ricochet. It starts off with the Hurt Business accompanying Cedric Alexander to the ring. I'm not gonna lie, I like this. I like it.
Yeah, it definitely gives Cedric something more to do and a little bit more longevity than just hanging out with Ricochet and Apollo, because he's right. He's just getting his butt whooped every single week. So
And honestly, now that he's accompanied by the Hurt Business, Kate and I were talking about this. This is the perfect time to put the Cruiserweight title back on him.
it would be, yeah. The more gold you put in the Hurt Business, the more credibility they get. I think the 24/7 title needs to go back to Shelton Benjamin to hold on to it for a little while and maybe make that belt into something. Because again, saw it MVP to the United States Championship. So, but,
Honestly, I think MVP and Shelton need to go for the tag team titles.
yeah, that'd be awesome too. Agreed. All right, yeah, that's better than 24-hour title.
Yep.
Right, much better. Good call. But they come out first. MVP talks a little smack about business being good. Cedric gives a little bit of an explanation as to why he's done what he's done, and really, it's just I'm tired of getting my butt whooped. It's kind of what he said last time around. And then Apollo and Ricochet come out, and they start saying, we're not here for an apology or an explanation. You just want you to know, now we're gunning for you. That's gonna be worse than the Hurt Business gunning for me. It's like, no, it's not. When it was 3-on-3, you were getting your butt whooped. Now you lost one of your buddies, 2 of them. Now it's 2-on-4.
Because you really didn't have his back like y'all claim you're dead.
Well, they tried to, but they just kept getting their butt whooped. They suck. They are not as tough as the Hurt Business. We've seen it over and over again. Apollo can probably hold his own one-on-one with those guys, but Rick's not in the same weight class as the rest of them. Cedric wasn't in the same weight class as the rest of them. I mean, I guess they now are in the same weight class as each other since he's on the
Bobby
same
can
team,
handle
but, like,
all of them by himself.
and he's shown that over and over and over again.
Mhm.
Like, so it wasn't, they try and talk tough, but I don't buy it anymore. There's nothing to it. It means
I really can't.
bubkus.
Moving on to SmackDown.
Yeah. Rick and Apollo are about as useful as the Viking Raiders at this point.
Moving to SmackDown.
And so we get the match between Cedric versus Ricochet, and this goes exactly how you think it would,
Yeah.
with Ricochet eating a pin. And God bless him, the way he sold that lumbar check was
Oh my
phenomenal.
God, that was a beautiful lumbar check.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not sure who got more height, him or Rock off that stunner. Like, it was beautiful.
Yeah, like we need to see a replay of that. That was awesome, man. That really was.
Well, pull up on your phone because I don't think I can show video clips on these things.
Oh no, we don't want to lose money.
Mm.
The little money that we do have. All 3 cents of it.
No, I just collect cans so I can buy more booze, and then I drink them, and then I take the cans back to buy more. It's a cycle.
I just go to the middle of Dallas, start begging. Like,
He means hooking. So as the Hurt Business starts to celebrate in the ring, the lights start to dim and go out, and they start looking around, and the Retribution logo comes up, and they cut a promo, and it's the same BS about how they're cast aside, and that anyone supports the WWE, this broken system is broken and corrupt also, and they're going to take it out, blah, 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 blah. And then it goes from like 6 of them to like freaking like 100 of them like show up in the background. Like they're breeding like rabbits. So yeah. Is right. That's about the correct sentiment for that.
I mean, there's nothing else to do in quarantine besides eat and fuck.
You're even starting to look pretty good. And I didn't say for what. Eat, fuck, or marry is going to be a weird game, man.
well, I mean, we know how it went for certain superstars.
Fuck Mac, marry Caden, eat Reggie.
Oh yeah, eat me, all right.
Well, no offense, but you're going to feed us for the longest. Mac is really good in bed, and Caden's just a good listener.
Plus, I got that Social Security money coming in.
I understand.
So Asuka comes out. We're going to have the Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka and MJ up next. But in between Asuka coming out and Mickie James making her entrance, we get Adam Pearce backstage yelling at security again about the Retribution issue when the Hurt Business comes up. And MVP's about had enough. And he's like, you know what? Get rid of the boys. You got running security and let the men take care of it. So the Hurt Business is going to go, take over the security duties for the evening. Adam Pearce is like, thank you for volunteering. And MVP's like, no. This is a business. I'm sending you a bill. Really good backstage segment.
Yeah.
And again, the Hurt Business is
MVP is pure gold, man.
he's money. So up next, we get the Raw Women's title match with Asuka versus Mickie James. And I got to say, I've loved Mickie James for a long time, and she's still, she's still got that legacy behind her, and you still just like expect just such damn good things out of her. Because for the most part, you always usually get a damn good match out of her. But tonight she looked sloppy. She looked tired. It looked bad. She gave 3 mitt kicks, and like
only one of them really looked
y'all
good.
say one of them looked good. I thought they all looked terrible. And they got progressively worse throughout the night.
I love Mickie. I really do.
This match was not good.
I did not like that ending. Like,
she got locked in the Asuka lock and she rolled over out of it the kind of the way, Banks does into like the pin where you're still kind of got your head locked in. And
the ref just ended it.
Ref called it.
That she can no longer continue. I don't know. Hopefully we get a story behind that.
She said no longer continue. Mickie James looked terribly confused and then just kind of rolled out of the ring. But after the confusing match ending, Zelina Vega comes out and challenges Asuka and slaps her in the face. And before Asuka can respond, she kind of bails the hell on out of there. So I guess this is where Zelina's going to go now. She's going to start doing her singles run, which it's about damn time, honestly.
Yeah.
It's been too long with her just kind of shadowing people as a manager when she's a very, very talented wrestler. Like, you're gonna have someone just shadow someone's like it's a crime that Lana's wrestling and Zelina Vega is managing.
I don't know. Like I said, I can still say Lana has came a long way, in her wrestling.
She has, but between the two of them, which one do you want to push as a wrestler?
Oh, of course, Zelina.
We go commercial break. After that, we got Bobby Lashley versus Erica the Viking Raiders, which actually early on we forgot to mention during the Cedric Alexander Ricochet match, Apollo kind of got into it with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin on the outside, and Eric kind of came out and made the save. It's kind of foreshadowing their match earlier or later on, but this match was exactly what you thought it was going to be with what the Viking Raiders are now. They're people who come out there and look tough for about the first 30 seconds of the match, then eat a finisher and lay down usually in under 5 minutes. And that's exactly what happened this time. He got a bunch of good knee strikes in, but eventually Bobby locks in the hurt lock and
Love that name.
Eric's gone.
I love the name of it.
Yeah, poor freaking Eric, man. Poor Viking Raiders. They've been made into a joke, and it's unfortunate because they were one of the baddest tag teams in the world. Like, they're doing
the indies on up, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're doing to the Viking Raiders the same thing they did to the Good Brothers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So after that, we got KO cutting an interview backstage. He's going to face off against Aleister Black later, and they're asking him, if he knows why Aleister's been targeting him, and he's like, I got no idea, but you know what? At this point in time, I just want to put some paint on him and hurt the man. So KO walks away, and Aleister walks behind him looking all sinister and shit. So we're going to have, KO versus Aleister Black coming up. So after the KO interview, we get our first glimpse of the Raw Underground tonight. Shane's outside with his giant bodyguard, and the bodyguard shoves Shane behind him. He's like, whoa, because someone's coming up, and it's Braun, and Braun is seriously a head shorter than that dude.
Like what? Like, okay, so we really get to see how big this bodyguard really is.
That was shocking.
Like, Braun Strowman looked like a kid compared to this guy.
He still might be whiter, or if not, the same width. So Seth's backstage in the locker room, and Murphy walks in. He's like, come on, man, I've been waiting for you to come to me all day. And he acts real sweet to him for a second, and then eventually slams him against the damn locker. He's like, you need to listen to what I say, and you're going to stay back here and stay out of my freaking way. I want to deal with your idiocy. I don't want to deal with your stupidity tonight. Stay here.
Man, he's ruthless.
Slaps him, just up in his business, but Murphy's like, yes, sir. Let me hear you say it again. Yes, sir. Murphy's eating that damn crow. So Seth's out to the ring. We're going to get Dom versus Seth in a steel cage match.
Yeah, which... Is that the first steel cage match we had in Thunderdome?
Well, yeah, we're getting a lot of firsts in Thunderdomes because Thunderdome's only on for a couple of weeks.
Okay, yeah. But so we get another gimmick match of a cage match. Seth versus Dom. It's, what can I say? It's not a Dom match without kendo sticks.
No, man. I think pretty soon he's gonna get sued by Sandman for copyright infringement or gimmick infringement.
I know, right? All Dom needs to do is come out with a beer can to Enter Sandman by Metallica, and he'll have it.
Vince is never gonna pay for the rights for Inner Sandman.
No, he's not.
I'm surprised he paid for the rights for Cult of Personality, but then again,
That wasn't Vince. That was Triple H.
Living Color needs to pay their gas bill. So, yeah, this match was pretty good. And like most matches with Dom and Seth, they really put their bodies on the line because Seth is really trying to help this kid get over. And Dom goes all out every time. His dad's there, his family's there encouraging him. I can't imagine how good that's got to feel for the whole family and for Dom, to get to do this. And he puts his heart into it every single time. It shows, the care shows. So I'm really enjoying these matches with them. But
we're rooting for the kid.
Yeah, man. Murphy does come out during the match and does introduce the aforementioned kendo stick. But during the match, Seth or Dom goes to go through the gate or through the door, whatever the hell you want to call it. And Ray's trying to help him. Murphy runs it behind him, slams Ray, against the barricade and starts wailing him a little bit and spins around to slam the gate in Dom's face.
Yeah.
But while he was beating on Ray, Seth had gotten back, on top and was going through the door himself. So Murphy inadvertently slams the door in Seth's face, prolonging the match a little bit. Dom has a narrow escape, but ends up getting superplexed into the Falcon Arrow from the top rope. It was the top of the cage, really.
They're doing it, man.
They were getting after it, but 2 stomps later, and Seth pins Dom for the 1, 2, 3. Luckily, he doesn't, attack the kid afterwards, which is what I thought he was going to do. But Seth steps out of the ring and just starts beating Murphy's ass, and then hits him in the face of the door. Yeah, just blames him for it. He hits him in the face of the door. It's like, how'd that feel? It sucks. I know because you did it to me. Walks over there to Ray stuck in behind him while he was dealing with Murphy, and goes and checks on Dom. And Seth on his way out stops by what's his wife's name? Ray's wife's name?
Angie.
Yeah, stops by Angie. It's like, he's like, yeah, way to go. Hope this one turns out better, pointing to her daughter. It's like, damn, dude, that's pretty biting. Yeah, shit.
Not gonna lie, I think she will.
But yeah, it was, the Angie goes in to check on Dom too. And the daughter, as she's going up the steps, she actually stops and kind of checks on Murphy and like touches his arm. It was kind of sweet. Maybe that's that little bit of olive branch that'll help change Murphy, and maybe he'll switch sides to the Mysterio side and try and make amends. But
this is Murphy's time to shine.
Yeah, man. Maybe it's just that little bit of clue that'll lead us, that little bit of character stuff that lead us to the next place. A little foreshadow.
This is Murphy's time to shine now. Finally. Yes. Oh, yeah. Remember that meme? Yeah, put Murphy's name on there too.
Hold on. Murphy and Dom as a tag team. That could be a lot of fun to watch. That could be a high-flying, hard-hitting tag team. That could be, yeah.
Now we get into our first brawl of Raw Underground. Dolph is in the ring, beating some chump down.
Whips his butt, yep.
And they said, who's next? Riddick Moss shows up. His name is growing in Raw Underground. It really is.
Angry Elias, as I like to call him.
But as those two were going at it, it was interrupted by Braun, who just wrecks both of them.
Yeah. Braun comes in there, puts his stamp on. He's pulling a Hurt Business tonight. He's just going to run the ring. So after Braun wrecks Riddick Moss and Dolph Ziggler, we cut to commercial. We come back, and Drew's cutting an interview backstage about his match with Lee coming up later on. And he starts to kind of say, Keith Lee has been kind of saying, he doesn't appreciate Drew getting involved in his matches and interfering. And, he's like, Drew's like, I only interfered after you hit the RKO on you, so you probably lost the match anyway, kind of doing you a favor. And Keith Lee takes,
what?
Yeah, Keith Lee shows up and kind of takes exception to that. Yeah. Anyway, words are exchanged, and eventually it comes to blow between the two friends.
Oh,
they
yeah,
start
for sure.
Wailing on each other as two monsters backstage.
It jumped up a notch. It did, didn't it?
So after Lee and Drew get into it, we get to see outside Raw Underground with the giant bodyguard there, and Titus O'Neil walks up, ready to go in for a fight, and the bodyguard just lets him on in. And they were acting all friendly, but you couldn't warn somebody that there's a freaking monster on the other side of the door. It just seems like courtesy, man.
Just let him find out. Hey, maybe Titus could have been the guy that takes him out. I don't know.
Look, man, if my house was burning down and you're like, hey, let's go inside, I'd be like, look, you can go fight that fire, but at least tell you there's a fire in there, right?
Well, there got to be a fire extinguisher somewhere.
Okay, but I wouldn't let you go in and find the fire for yourself and then decide to get an extinguisher. I at least tell you first to be like, hey, I got a fire extinguisher in my car or something. You can prepare yourself. Just tell the motherfucker, There's a giant monster with a beard and a shitty attitude behind the door. Like, that's it.
Well, he was pissed off too. So maybe this was the opportunity to take his anger out.
Well, a lot of good it did him because we see Braun beat up, was it Riddick Moss again? Yeah. Beat up Riddick Moss again. And after he throws his ass out, Titus jumps from behind. He's in there for like, all of 6 seconds before he gets a guillotine choke and just passes out and slumps over the ground. And Braun starts mounting him and wailing down those big old ham hocks. Like,
Whew.
Titus is about as useful in the underground as he was, in a regular ring, it seems. So, man just can't buy a break.
All right, so next up, we finally get our match between Owens and Aleister Black.
Yeah, not in the stupid Raw Underground, then an actual proper match.
Yes, which Aleister sporting some new gear, I see.
Yeah, he's got some like leather daddy, like latex gear on for some reason.
Some Dom tights.
Yeah, he's got some Dom tights on.
Some Dom gear.
That's all right. Zelina would look like her outfit was painted on. So, I mean, they were both wearing they must have a convention after the show tonight. They got to get to.
Well, they shop together.
They're going to buy some suspension straps. And
You must be daddy.
You must be daddy.
all right. So Aleister attacks KO from behind after KO makes his entrance and the match is off. KO gets some heavy hitting offense in early on, but eventually Aleister starts working over his left knee and working it pretty hard. So KO selling that most of the match, like gets some head of steam a couple of times and his leg just gives out on him. So it's mostly Aleister punishing the leg, but eventually Owens would, try and go for he got a super kick on Ali and tries to go for some more offense, but again, leg gives out. Aleister recovers and he's about to deliver the black mass and the lights flicker, another retribution annoyance. But it distracts him just long enough for KO to hit the stunner. 1, 2, 3. KO comes out victorious, even though Aleister seemed to be in charge for a good portion of the match. So,
And this is when MVP starts complaining again. Well, this is when he got on commentary.
yeah.
He started complaining.
Well, yeah, Dolph had to go in the back and get his ass kicked by Braun. So we brought MVP out to fill in on commentary for the rest of the evening, which he did a pretty good job of.
Oh, yeah. Very good job.
So I've definitely enjoyed him more than Byron Saxton. So after the match, we cut backstage and Drew's taping his wrists up. And while he's doing so, Keith Lee attacks him again from behind and they're still brawling. And then instead of having all the crew members do spread them apart, just like Lackey First Class, Adam Pearce gets between him and just like a dad on a road trip that's been going on way, way too long. He's like, if you little motherfuckers don't settle down and sit there, I'm going to turn this fucking car right around and we're going to go home.
Nobody's going to get a championship.
No one's getting a championship match. That's just it. He tells them if they don't knock it off, then he's going to call.
Let's just go ahead and say it. He's the unofficial Raw GM.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, it seems like it.
Unofficial Raw GM Adam Pearce. After all of that, we go to our women's tag team match, the Riot Squad versus Lana and Natalya, with our women's tag team champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, on the side doing commentary.
Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, they were all right. They were just there to scout.
Well, they were there to put Lana through an announce table at the end of the match.
Pretty much. Yeah, because it was just a quick, easy done for the Lana and Natalya.
Yeah, the match was absolutely nothing. Honestly, the most remarkable thing was that Natty Neidhart came out without pink on her gear for once. I didn't see any pink, did she? No.
No, it was gold.
No, black and...
Well, that was Lana that was black and...
But they're both wearing black, weren't they?
Yeah.
Black and gold.
No, she just has the see-through bits. It's flesh color.
Ah.
But it was like black with she always has black and pink with like silver, stud, little gemstones or whatever. Like she took the rhinestone gun out to it or whatever.
Which I gotta say it.
Silver and black, which was what she was wearing tonight, as opposed to silver, black, and pink.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that she had no pink on. Like her and Lana. Like Lana came out last week, even though she was in a singles match wearing Natty's colors. She was wearing the black and the pink. I was like, oh, that's really cool that Lana's gonna start rocking the heart colors since she's teaming with Natty. I was expecting them to come out in heart colors tonight. I was a little disappointed they didn't, which was weird because Keith Lee was rocking heart colors tonight.
Yeah. That's true. But I gotta say it. Lana's still showing improvement.
Lana's definitely showing improvement, but she didn't get much time to show it because this match was over before it even began.
Oh, yeah.
It was a riot kick, 1, 2, 3 on Lana, and that was the end of it. The Riot Squad bails out as the women's tag team champions get in the ring after the match, and they run up to the ramp and kind of have a little stare off. Natty's checking on Lana, and while that's happening, Shayna just starts kicking the shit out of her. They toss her out. clear off the announce table, and it was actually kind of sad because Lana was not like knocked out or anything. She's like screaming, "Help me, no, please!" while she was on Nia Jax's back. Nia just
Samoan dropped.
Yeah, she didn't get up on the table. It's like she did from the ground, but right through the table. So, I mean, it wasn't nearly as, I don't guess it was as bad, but it still looked pretty horrific.
It did.
And I imagine it was actually probably
great.
worse on Nia because she's just jumping right in that corner right there in the middle of her back. That had to suck. That's got to hurt worse than
It's
standing
like-
on the thing, actually.
It's
I don't think
like,
about
not
it.
only is she hurting other wrestlers, she hurting herself.
But the women's tag team champions do look strong. They look dominant. They look terrifying. And the match was basically a filler. Not much to report on that. So we come back to Raw Underground, and Braun is still beating up people. He's beating up some chump. And after he's done with him, Riddick Moss gets in for round 3. He wants some more. And Braun gives him one right to the jaw, and Dolph jumps back in. It starts being a 2-on-1 with Dolph and Moss ganging up on Braun, but he throws Dolph off, punches Riddick once in the face, knocks him out, and
Just
that's
off the power slam.
yeah, that was it for those guys.
Say, who's next? But then this is what we wanted to see right here.
This is what we were hoping for all night long.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Dabba-Kato.
Yep. Dubstep Kato Kalin got in the ring, and
They got face to face, but Shane stopped it right there.
Shane
No,
did what a smart businessman would do. He's like, no, this is next week.
next week.
Let's plan this. Good on him. I didn't blame him. I would
I
do the
don't
same
blame him
thing.
either.
So next week we'll get Yabba Dabba Doo versus Braun Strowman, and I'm looking forward to it. So we go into the main event with Drew McIntyre taking on Keith Lee. If Keith Lee wins and Randy Orton can't make it to Clash of Champions, it'll be Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship in an ambulance match at Clash of Champions.
Which is a good match. It really will be.
Did I get all that out? Sorry, this is starting to get cold. The match itself was pretty good, but Drew starts selling the jaw really early on. He takes one to the chin from Lee and immediately just hits the ground, starts selling it. So that's going to be a major part of the match is Drew selling the fragility of his injured jaw. They put on again, we've said this, we made this point last time. They had a good TV match. TV
Yes.
matches, as for the nature, just don't live up to the quality of a pay-per-view. And as soon as we saw this match tonight, the first thing you said was, man, this should be a pay-per-view match. It wasn't. It was a TV match and it wasn't bad, but we get through a hard-fought match. And then like most good things on Raw these days, it gets
Somebody has to ruin it.
gets ruined by Retribution coming out there and just kicking the crap out of Keith and Drew. But we get our heroes. We look to the hills and our help is coming, dear Lord.
The Hurt
It
Business.
happens to be the Hurt Business. Hurt Business comes out, and those 4 guys are going to take their suits off and take on like 20 dudes in jumpsuits. MVP, I appreciate the bravado, but like you're always talking about making a smart decision, and this wasn't one of them. I'm just saying. But they held their own for a little while, long enough for Keith and Drew to recover. They hit dual running swan dives over the top rope on the outside and just take everybody out. And they're standing tall at the end of the night, looking at each other. Animosity is still there, but deep down, they're still friends.
Of course.
But it was a good way to end with Retribution finally taking a bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I really want to see them ruin my main event. You know, but that Manatee loves those DQ and roll up balls, so we got to get at least one of them in a night. So, that's about what I got for that one.
Yeah.
That's how it made me feel by the end of it. Just like I sat here starting Raw and I realized that like while I enjoyed Drew and Keith Lee, I felt really disappointed that I wasn't going to be getting watching any Alexa Bliss or Fiend stuff.
Well, we got to watch SmackDown for that.
I know. I just realized I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch wrestling. I can't wait to, oh, there's no Alexa Bliss or Fiend stuff on this episode. And I just got a little disappointed. Like, that's the most engaging story from me right now. And plus, 2 hours versus 3. Can't beat that.
Yeah.
No.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Heels Up. That was Raw. We really appreciate it. Please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Say hi to your mama for me. All those good things. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you guys on SmackDown